Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill 2025, SB 584. Those in support of the long title on page 1 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the 43 clauses in the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The 43 clauses. Don't worry. Let's leave out the clauses. Let's go into clause by clause. Okay, so I take clauses 1 to 10. Any objection? Well, you have any objection in clauses 1 to 5? Anybody? Those in support of clauses 1 to 5 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 6 to 10. Those in support of 6 to 10 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 11 to 20. Those in support of clauses 11 to 20 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 21 clauses 21 to 30. No, distinguished Senator Tamwa.
Mr. Adela, Yayi, your prayer is not answered. Mr. President, still as chair, I have an observation on clause 22, fund of the service. There is established for the service a fund which has consist of and to which shall be credited A, 3% of the total revenue collected by the service, which may be appropriated by the National Assembly, subject to review as the economic situation may require. Mr. President, I have concern about appropriation being may. We shall appropriate, not may, Mr. President, I so observe.
Any seconder? Yeah, so many hands. The dismissed senator, Olamilego. So many hands.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. President as Chair, Adeola Solomon Olamileko, I rise to second the motion as moved by Senator Aminu Tambo. I so second. That the word be changed from may to shall.
Okay, so read the particular clause. Is it clause 22A? 2A. A percentage.
That a percentage shall be determined by the National Assembly of the total revenue collected by the service, which shall be appropriated by the Assembly for capital and recurrent expenditure of the service.
Okay, the correction is like this. A percentage as may be determined by the National Assembly of the total revenue collected by which shall.
Shall.
Because the operative word in contention is may, which shall be appropriated by the National Assembly for the capital and recurrent expenditures of the service. So in other words, that percentage, Okay, this is now. So the look at the middle. What we have there is now recommendation is 22A in the middle. 3% of the total revenue collected by the service, which here it says may be appropriated. As the economic situation may require. In other words, the review is not the appropriation, the review is a percentage. Is a percentage that shall be, but it is the appropriation or appropriating the percentage shall be compulsory. But right now, 3% may be reviewed from time to time, depending on the economic situation of the country. But the appropriation shall become, it doesn't matter what percentage, whether it is reviewed to 1, whether it is reviewed to 2 or reviewed to 5. But whatever is reviewed shall be appropriated by the National Assembly. Those in support,
subject to the review of the percentage So
the subject matter is the percentage.
yes,
That's what I'm talking about.
because of a
yes, so what you are saying is that this one seems to say 3% simplicity.
Where you have that subject to percentage.
No. We are saying now we are not
subject to review.
No, we are
not talking so that nobody will come tomorrow and say, oh, you are talking about the review of the entire clause. Subject of the review of the percentage.
Okay, so redraft it. Let us see.
Yes.
Redraft what you are saying.
Yes.
Redraft it. Read the whole sentence. Use your mind.
3% of the total revenue collected by the service, which shall be appropriated by the National Assembly, subject to the review of the percentage as the economic situation may require. Well, the legal department
On the same subject, sir.
Yes. What the distinguished colleagues, please, what the DSP is proposing. Senator Walada, you just came now. Allow those who were here to talk. If you have the understanding, go ahead and contribute.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, on the same item A, mine is on the percentage. 1% is the most acceptable and implementable or implemented. Excuse me, I have the floor. Would you listen to me to the end? Jimo Ibrahim, this is not capital market. Shut up and behave. I apologize.
Distinguished Senator Jimo Ibrahim. Distinguished Senator Jimo Ibrahim. Even the use of the language, Wadada knows that he was about to face punishment. So I'm sure he's going to apologize. Wadada.
I sincerely do.
No, withdraw the language and then apologize.
I said I apologize.
No, I didn't say what you said. I said withdraw.
It is withdrawn, but next time don't interfere that way.
Okay. So
it is
withdrawal and apology hereby accepted.
What I was saying, Mr. President, is that 1% is the international accepted.
No, sorry, we are not redrafting the bill. We are doing clause by clause constitution. So listen to this. What is recommended by all is that 3% of the total revenue collected by the service, which we have now corrected to shall, which shall be approved by the National Assembly, because here what they had was may. In other words, they can spend the 3% without appropriation. But we are now saying shall is compulsory, which shall be appropriated by the National Assembly, subject to the review of the percentage from time to time, depending on the situation or as the economic situation. Yes.
What I'm saying is ours should be
and note what is currently being collected is 4%. So they say
but oil is inclusive. Oil is inclusive. That's why I am saying ours for now should be 2%. 2% instead of.
Okay. Though you are this Senator Wadada. This is Senator Wadada. Look at your order paper. Your standing Senate standing orders. 2023 as amended. Open to order 84-2. Open to 84-2. And please read. No, use your microphone.
84-2. No amendment shall be moved which is inconsistent with any already agreed upon or any decision already come to by the committee, and the chairman may at any time during the discussion of a proposed amendment withdraw it from the consideration of the committee if in his opinion the discussion shall have shown that the amendment violates the provisions of this rule. So then we
So
must
what
agree.
it means is that the committee had agreed on the 3%. And so no further amendment can be carried out.
So why are you changing may to shall? That's it. That's it. We are contradicting ourselves then.
Senator Wadada, Distinguished Senator Wadada, I am changing Shah to and moving May because I was here before you. So I'm more conversant with the subject matter. And then if you wish to proceed further than where the rule tells you, come by way of motion so that we will debate it here and then we will agree. So your objection is ruled out of order. Those in support that 3% of the total revenue collected by the service shall be appropriated by the National Assembly. So, any seconder to the proposed amendment that we shall, of the word shall and present? Yes, Senator Wadada.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. This time, I am not on the may or shall order, words. What I am...
But you are still on section 22.
Yeah, the same, on the same section, but what I have is, I will want us to invoke section 1B of our standing orders of the Senate 2023 as amended.
Read section 1B.
Now 1B. One B says, in all cases in this standing order or by seasonal or other orders or practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedures. And by this, I am calling on the President to allow me propose an amendment from 3% to 2% because the subject matter is all encompassing. It involves both oil and non-oil revenue. What will be accrued to the coffers will be more than the budget of 15, 16, 17 states of the Federation. So for that, let's reduce it to 2%.
Any seconder? Yes, Senator Ahanga.
Mr. President, I second the motion for amendment of this section ably moved by my brother, Senator Wadada. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, two legs. The first is those in favor that we utilize the section 1B of our standing rules in order to allow for amendment of the proposal here, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg is that the motion has been proposed and seconded that we review the percentage from 3% to 2% in view of the fact that the entirety of the revenue are now consolidated, both oil and non-oil. Those in support that we review from 3% to 2% say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. So we will proceed. 2% of the total revenue by the service, which shall be appropriated by the National Assembly subject to the review of the percentages as the economic situation may require. Those in support of this amendment say aye. Say nay. Yes. So we are clauses 11, no, clauses 21 to 30 as amended. Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause. Yes.
Mr. President, I think we discussed this on the question of either executive chairman, or executive vice chairman, or managing director. So I think we should not, wherever we come across this, when we say executive director, we are talking about the vice chair, the executive vice chairman. So the executive vice chairman.
So propose.
Sir, what I'm saying
which clause?
30.
Okay. Yes, we are on clause 30.
So I'm saying we should not, that wherever we come across this executive chairman, it is.
Chairman of Finance, I thought you should be very interested in what we are doing here.
The deputy leader is the one obstructing me here, sir.
What is your opinion on clause 30? He's saying that where we have executive chairman, we should change it to executive vice chairman in order to allow for.
I think it's a typo. There's an error for.
Well, that's why I say let us not.
So
let us not.
So read, please use your mic.
Clause 30, accountability, I think is from the typing. It's supposed to be the executive vice chairman of the service shall.
So why don't you just move a motion?
Sir?
Why don't you move a blanket motion? That wherever we see executive chairman, we should refer to it as executive vice chairman. So that we take it mutandis.
Sir, so long.
Your mic.
So long as it is for the executives, because we have chairman of the board, we have executive vice chairman, who are in the executive, and this one is on the board. So wherever we see executive chairman, we should be executive vice chairman. That's what I'm saying. So if we can move
you can move the motion that wherever we see executive, and the next word that follows is chairman, that it should actually be changed to executive vice chairman.
Exactly, sir.
Because the board will eventually have a chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, let me make one clarification. Anywhere you see executive chairman as existing here is the way the bill was before the amendment. If you look at our recommendations and you look at the interpretation and the definition, okay, I will want to move a motion that anywhere you see chairman should be changed to anywhere you see executive chairman should be changed to executive vice chairman, and that is only in the recommendation part. Motandi. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Come for legal tutorial.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Is it Motendis?
Well, Senator
Motendis Motenda.
Yes, but it's still good to, you see, it is better to err on the part of surplusage. As I speak, it is already in the interpretation clause. But there's nothing wrong in putting it here because otherwise we cause confusion. So, Jim Ibrahim, you may wish to second that motion that wherever we see the word executive and chairman follows should actually be executive vice chairman. And mutatis. Press for your mic. Oh, it's not your seat. No, it's not. No. No, it's committee of the.
Without this one, Mr. Senate, Jimo Ibrahim, representing Ondo South from Ondo State, do rise to support the motion ably moved by the committee chairman of finance, that Senator Sani Musa, that wherever we see the word chairman should read the word vice chairman accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that wherever you see the word executive and chairman follows that, you should correct it to vice. So it becomes executive vice chairman. Those in support of the motion that will run mutatis mutandis across the entirety of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. And this will go through all the bills. So the Senator Anga, your concern has been taken care of. Thank you. So we now look at clauses 31 to 41.
Yes.
Yes, Senator.
Yes, sir.
Senator Mongunu.
31-3. Mr. President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. What my concern is that in any legal proceeding under this bill or any of the laws authorized by the service, any act or thing done by the service or the board, the laws referred to in subclause 2 shall not be subject to challenge on the ground that such act or thing done was not proved to be in accordance with the given by the minister.
Don't go there. It only shows that whoever inserted this clause is planning to fight with the minister.
Yes, and it borders on Oster clause.
Yes.
And we are not in the military government where we host the jurisdiction of
we can do that.
Courts.
We cannot.
It's draconian and obnoxious.
Draconian, obnoxious,
So
and self-serving.
Yes, sir. So we should expunge that aspect of the provision.
Those in support that we expunge that provision say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This provision infringes on the fundamental human rights of individuals. You cannot oust the jurisdiction of the court. Neither can you oust somebody from challenging an action undertaken by anybody, and you cannot use the law to deem that action to be a representation of the approval of a minister, whether the minister approves or not. It doesn't make sense. So that is why it's important we look at these things. Come, clerk, did you get it? It's totally obnoxious. So 31.3 is hereby deleted.
I just position because I overheard the chairman of the Finance Committee suggesting that we are retaining what is contained in the original provision. But that's not the case. The case is that the entirety of it is gone.
Go on.
Thank you, sir.
On general directions of the minister, miscellaneous provisions,
What clause?
Clause 31(1). Here it says, the minister may, after consultation with the executive chairman, give written directions to the service on general policy matters, and the service shall comply with such directions. So this is obnoxious. There is a board of directors who are supposed to formulate policies for the board. There's a chairman, non-executive directors and executive directors who are supposed to formulate policies.
We don't have executive chairman any longer.
No.
That is why here it says in consultation with executive chairman. And what we have is executive vice chairman.
But how can the minister give him directives on policy matters? I think the right thing is for the board to take a decision, and then if there's any controversy beyond the board, then the minister is informed, and the minister maybe takes it to the council. But if the minister should go and act as the executive chairman, because he's like acting as an executive chairman, in any organization where there's management, there's a board. The board and members of the directors of the board are the people that formulate policies.
No, it's in this case, the minister is in charge of both fiscal and monetary policies. And that's why even currently we call it coordinating minister of the economy. So the minister can from time to time give directives on policy, on general policy direction to the board. And can also give directive to management through the executive vice chairman.
We have already given conflicting areas where the minister cannot give any guidance. That is the section. The minister should not.
It's true. He said the minister shall not give any directive, any direction in respect of any particular person, which would have the effect of requiring to increase or decrease any assessment of tax made or to be made, or any relief given or to be given, or to defer the collection of any tax or judgment that due. He has already restricted the minister. Yeah, it has restricted the minister, so I think the only thing we need to do there is just to put the word executive vice chairman. I hope actually, chairman of finance, you have to tidy this document of the secretariat. The secretariat will also try its best, but you who are tidy it, and then copies must be resubmitted to all distinguished senators. Is that the view of the Senate? Yeah. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So these things will be taken care of, because the word executive vice chairman has changed the nomenclature, has changed everything that was. So we take it that 31 to 41 is carried. Those in support of the distinguished Senator Dan Kwambo, former Accountant General of the Federation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Section 39, sir. I support that we keep the existing section instead of the amended a warrant issued by the executive vice chairman, approved by the minister, is also subjected to another approval by the National Assembly. That will cause a lot of delay, and that will not have any effect on the finances. So we retain the existing section.
Well, again, the word there is executive chairman, and what we have approved is executive vice chairman.
Mr. President, anywhere you see executive chairman, that was the proposed bill, so we now gave recommendation and changed it from executive chairman to executive vice chairman. So anywhere you see on that column, that is what you will continue to see, because that is the original proposal that came. And we have done the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, what we are saying is that it should not be approved by a committee of the National Assembly.
How can you have oversighting powers over an appropriation you have made? You said you are taking away.
Your mic.
Mr. President, what I'm saying to clarify this, the reason why we put the National Assembly is because we are giving a new authority to minister, based on the recommendation from the executive vice chairman, to the minister that Accountant General can deduct directly for MDAs. So we said, since it is budgeted from the appropriation, we will also want that to come back to the National Assembly. See, the agency will tell you they were not able to do anything because their money had been taken. So what do you do about that? If there's any solution, we will adopt it.
Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, I rise to support the observation of the former Accountant Federation. Today we are in the National Assembly. What is certain is that tomorrow we will not be here, but this institution will be here. But in all our conversation earlier, we emphasized the need to leave this business in the affairs of competent, qualified people. We are trying to divorce the system from politics as much as possible. Now, when this has gone through all the relevant agencies, manned by people who are competent as provided for under the law, with profound respect, I do not think that the fact that National Assembly has oversight responsibility, that we should now become an approving authority. Let me finish. With the sentiment expressed by Senator Dakwambo, I think that what should give us comfort is the fact that, stated or not, anything done by anyone spending or appropriating public funds, this National Assembly has a natural oversight responsibility. That does not mean we should be consulted first before certain things are done, so that we avoid delays such that may turn out to hurt all of us. So that's why I think that Dakwabo, given his background, is being a Accountant General of the Federation, and he understands the issues, and in all of this, time is of the essence. Whatever I did today, when it comes coming, I don't understand.
distinguished Senator Oshimole, in practice, no, sit down. In practice, what Senator Dan Kwambo is saying is that it would lead to a lot of bottlenecks. That where the minister has given a warrant to the executive vice chairman to go ahead and deduct money from agencies and all that, that's an executive function. And to subject that to the approval of the committee of the Senate means even to deny the Senate and the House of Representatives the opportunity to undertake the oversight. It's going to take long because it's not only the committee of the Senate that will be required, it will be National Assembly. And so to subject it to the National Assembly, that is House of Representatives and the Senate, the process will become nebulous and cumbersome. So I think we should the Distinguished Chairman, you should.
I concur.
Yeah,
I agree absolutely with that Kwambo's position.
He's about to agree with you.
I agree with your explanation, Mr. President. Mm-hmm. But I want to put it also here on record that it is not people that are novice that have worked on this. When Mr. Distinguished Senator Oshomole is making his remark, he said it's always good to give to competent people. I'm a professional. I'm in the field also, financial. So I know what I am doing. So if it is referred that for those that have done this, we have looked at it carefully. And the area that we were only trying to protect is a situation where any budgeted, any fund that has been appropriated by the National Assembly to an agency cannot just be taken. That is all. Senate, in their wisdom, feel this is the right thing, so be it.
The difference in what you are saying is that it is the same administration. I don't think they will go and just take money from an agency without reason. We have all been chief executives one way or the other. So there may be constraint. For instance, you may be under pressure to settle a judgment debt. And the only way you can do it to avoid your properties being forfeited is to take money from anywhere you can see it immediately. Outside that, you have to go for loan. So if that is done, it's left to us to go and oversight and find out whether they can return the money or they cannot return the money. What was the deduction used for? You understand? I don't done out of context of probity and accountability. So, but if we have to approve that action, we're going to move in circle. So I think we should go with Dan Kwambo. Distinguished Senator Dan Kwambo. Distinguished Senator Dan Kwambo. Now formally move a motion for the amendment of that section. Move a motion for the amendment of that section.
Okay, sir. Your Excellency, I, Senator Kwambo, do hereby move that Section 39 be retained as it is. I so moved.
Read what you want us to retain.
The Accountant General of the Federation shall, not later than 30 days of receiving a endorsed by the Executive Vice Chairman of the service and approved by a judicial officer in accordance with the third schedule of the bill, deduct a remitted revenue due from any ministry, department, agency, or government from its budgetary allocation or such other money accruing to it, and shall remit the deductions to the service.
In other words, the new recommendation is rejected.
Yes.
Yes, distinguished Senator Oshimole.
Mr. President, Adams Oshimole, I represent the people of Edo North. I rise to second the amendment as proposed by distinguished Senator Dakwan.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the Senate do retain the original provisions of Section 39 and reject the proposed amendment. Those in support that we retain the original provision say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Section 40-41. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Interpretation clause 42, which is on page 40. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Short title clause 43. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Schedules 1 to 3 on pages 43 to 48. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So I thank the chairman of the committee on finance and my distinguished colleagues for the painstaking manner in which we have approved the Nigerian Revenue Service Supplement Bill 2025 as amended. Distinguished colleagues, we now look at the second bill. We are still in very serious. The Nigerian Tax Administration Bill 2025. A bill to enact, please correct that part. A bill
Yes, sir.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to provide for the assessment of collection of and accounting for revenue accruing to the Federation, the federal government, the states and local governments, and thereafter prescribe the powers and functions of tax authorities and for related matters, SB 585. So Nigeria Tax Administration Bill 2025 SB 585. We have looked through. So clauses 1 to yes. Let's start with Senator.
Colleagues, starting from the long title of the powers and functions of tax authorities and for related matters, SB 585. Mr. President, I have a very serious concern, particularly when you go deeper into the provisions of this particular bill at clauses 87 downwards, where it is clearly intended that we make laws for states and local governments. This is against the Constitution. We don't have powers to make laws for states and local governments. So we may, Mr. President, go into this and look at it more dispassionately.
What section tells you that we don't have powers to make laws for states and local governments? Because what I know legally by the Constitution is that any law that is enacted by a state or a bylaw by the local government, which is inconsistent with an act of parliament at the national level, is null and void to the extent of that inconsistency.
Mr. President, you don't make laws for states. That's why you have state houses of assembly.
Concurrent legislative list. Where there is concurrent legislative list.
And as we have on our screen is the Nigerian Senate debating on the tax reform bills. At this particular time, the plenary session is to look at the provisions of the bill, bills rather, clause by clause. Let's not forget that it's about the Nigerian Tax Bill, Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, Joint Revenue Board. And of course, for about an hour or so, the Nigerian Senate have been deliberating on the Nigerian Revenue Service as regards the percentage of the total revenue that is to be collected by the Revenue Service, that is the Nigerian Revenue Service, and that's to be appropriated by the National Assembly, subject to the review of the percentages as the situation of the economy may require. And there have been deliberations as to what particular percentage should be collected and appropriated by the National Assembly. Before now, it was around 4%, and now there have been deliberations that it should be reduced to 3%. And during the course of the plenary session, it was finally accepted that the particular percentage to be collected and appropriated should be around 2%. And after the successful deliberation of the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, it was approved by the Senate. Of course, that particular bill, part of the tax reform bills, should be ratified, and of course it is pegged at 2%. Now, another session focuses on the other clauses, of course, are contained in tax reform bills, and that's why we have the senators continue the deliberation on the floor as of now.
There are other legal minds that will say constitutionally we cannot, but the court, the Supreme Court said we can, and I think we should.
I wish you had also consulted, because I would have also been paid consultation fee as a ranking legal mind that will bind the states and local governments. If there are areas we cannot, the Constitution will separate those areas. But on areas of there are exceptions. On areas of jurisdiction, Leader. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Adini Adewemi Odo Central. With respect to what His Excellency Senator Tabua said, I think we need to go to the second schedule of the Constitution, which is the exclusive legislative list. Subsection 59 is clear. It says, taxation of incomes, profits, and capital gains, except as otherwise prescribed by this Constitution.
Please start again.
I said that with respect to what Senator Tabua has said, the powers of the National Assembly are stated in the second schedule, part inclusive legislative list. And subsection 59 says we have powers to make laws for taxation of incomes, profit, gains, except otherwise prescribed by this Constitution. We need to understand that what we are doing here is a bill for taxation. If we go to the latter part of the bill, we debated it, as Senator Nigi said, where we were trying to create state revenue services. We said we couldn't do so, but we could expunge those sections and kept the one that deals with taxation, administration of taxation, which is what this bill deals with. To Senator Tabua, I think it's wrong to say that we don't have the powers.
Mr. President, please.
I know we have the powers.
Mr. President, please.
Yeah?
Mr. President, point of order and constitutional point of order. Section 162 of the Constitution. With your permission, Mr. President, I read, the Federation shall maintain a special account to be called the Federation account, into which shall be paid all revenue collected by the government of the Federation, except the proceeds from the personal income tax of the personnel of the armed forces of the Nigerian Police Force, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or Department of Government charged with the responsibility for foreign affairs, and the residents of the Federal Capital Territory. So, Mr. President, the exception on this is that we cannot make law for the collection of revenue on these categories of taxes. Residents of the city,
You are listening.
All right, so we still have the senators in the red chamber deliberating on the legislative powers to actually make laws for taxation of incomes and profits, basically administration of taxation, and there's been a bit of discrepancy as to the powers that the legislature has. I'm looking at the categories of taxes that they can make laws for in terms of collection and administration, and that is the part of the clause of the particular tax reform bills that they are considering right now to have an understanding of.
Internal Revenue Service. Thank you.
Thank you. That doesn't need argument. So, please, Senator Jaribe, let's make progress. When we get to that particular section, you can say something. Okay? So, clause 1, those in support of clause 1, those against say there. The ayes have it. Clause 2 to clause 15. Those in support of clause 2 to 15 say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Clause 16 to 30. Please look out for the sections you are not comfortable with. Look out for it, so as we are progressing, you raise it. 16 to 30. Those in support of clauses 16 to 30 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. And recall that Senator Sani Musa, this is your business. We are dealing with. You are not hearing me. So where we have executive chairman, we should also refer to it as executive vice chairman, because we are saying mutatis mutandis. Leader, am I right? Mutatis, a life bencher. Mutatis mutandis. But Senator Ashu said we should speak English. As an architect, his mistakes are normally there for all to see. We can use English and cover our own. Okay, so clauses 31 to 45. Those in support of clauses 31 to 45 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 46 to 60. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Henry Siraki Dixon, Bayelsa West. Mr. President, I'm making an observation concerning a provision that was debated seriously and agreed upon at the committee level, which is to the effect that a provision be clearly made to authorize the payment of tax revenues, payee and any other taxable revenue for all who are working in various sections of the creeks in oil facilities scattered across various parts of the country. Because currently, the position is that those taxable revenues every month and paid to the state that houses the headquarters. And we agreed. I have been running up and down, conferring with a distinguished chairman of this committee. So may we have clearer direction, Mr. President, as to where that provision or clause is. Because I can't find it. And if it is not there, then this is an opportunity for us to insert it after section, so that we can put a clause that in the case of computation of oil, the tax deductible and payable by all sector workers operating outside their headquarters, that those tax revenues be computed and paid to the states where the facilities are domiciled. So I seek that clarification, Mr. President.
It's been dealt with on the computation of pay as you earn. It will be paid by the worker where he works. It is not that you go and work in Borno and then your headquarters is in Sokoto, or even a construction worker. You are doing work in Borno, you are resident in Borno, and then you go and pay tax to Sokoto. No.
Observation.
It's been dealt with. It's payee.
Observation.
It was in the past.
Observation,
That was
sir.
in the past. Now, under this,
Mr. Senate President, can I reply that? Can I reply that, sir? Mr. Senate, I want to reply that. I want to reply to
yes,
Senator DCO.
please answer.
I want to make a reply. Now we have the state inland revenue service. No, I have been recognized. It's not a war matter. Thank you, sir. Mr. President, sir. But two things we have to discover, we have to reflect on.
we can't make two sets of laws on pay as you earn. There are people working in FCT, but they live in Nasarawa State. There are people who work in Lagos, Mr. President, and they live in Ogun State. The logic of pay as you earn, my brother, is that you pay based on your residence, not where your office is, because it is in your residence that your family, your children will attend public schools and is provided by state government. The purpose of tax is to address the social needs of human beings. And so if you tamper with this,
Use your mic. Use your mic.
Sir?
Your mic was not working.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm saying the taxation is based on your residence, and there are good reasons for it. You spend 8 hours at work, you spend 16 hours outside work. Oftentimes, your children attend schools where you are resident. That is where you drink your water. That is where you benefit from all kinds of social facilities that state governments or federal government is supposed to provide. So, my dear brother, I understand your concern, I understand your pain that somebody flies to somewhere, make money, work there, and then he flies to another place. Unfortunately, we can't make two laws, one for oil workers and one for other non-oil workers.
Thank you.
Your place of residence is the basis for taxation, and it is the state in which you reside that collects the money. Sorry, I think something is wrong with this microphone system. One is talking, until we just go up by itself.
The microphone just goes off. Anyhow. Which sensor? Let the sensor.
So thank you, sir.
Mr. Senate President, I think you gave me the floor to make my own contribution.
Senator Jumebe, debating.
No, it's not a debate. It's a clarification, because some of us also saw the tax or taxation. The issue here raised by Senator Dixon.
Let's go to the clock.
There is nothing offending in this bill, because the State Inland Revenue Service, they are to find out where the residence is, and they go there and collect the tax. It is not it's okay the way it is.
Let me explain.
And it's that is
Of course, those are the distinguished senators of the Red Chamber, the Nigerian Senate, actually deliberating clause by clause the tax reform bills presented by President Bola Tinubu on October 3, 2024. And of course, these bills are to ensure that revenue mobilization is guaranteed for government expenditure. And of course, we understand that there have been some exemptions and optimizations in tax payment. And at this point, we have the senators deliberating on the computation of tax payments by oil workers at the creeks, and where the accrual of these revenues should be domiciled. Should it be to the states that actually house the headquarters or the facilities of these oil companies, or probably to some other quarters for which this particular revenue will be more beneficial in terms of expenses? And now we are going to bring to an end this live broadcast, knowing fully well that at the end of this particular deliberation, News Central will be bringing you the details of the conclusion of this particular plenary session right here on this channel, so you want to stick around for that. We are done with this live broadcast. The next program will be coming up next. I am Lekon Obanjo. Enjoy your day.